We just are here at the gun buyback in Whittier, and we just had an example of why we're doing this.
Well, this ought to be good. The point of a gun buyback is to get dangerous guns off the street, so I'm told. So I should hope that this is an example of a dangerous gun being removed from the streets.
A woman pulled up and she had 2 assault rifles in her trunk. And I was talking to her and I'm like, thank you for coming. I can't believe you have 2 assault rifles.
Well, looks like we have some common ground, because I can't believe she has 2 assault rifles either. As an FFL holder, I can confidently tell you the ATF has given absolutely no guidelines to qualify a rifle as assault. As a matter of fact, I will show you. I'll just take you to the Tennessee instant background checks that we have to run on every firearm that is brought in. Here we are on the official .gov website. Let us scroll down to rifle. We have automatic, bolt action, carbine, flintlock, lever action, percussion, pump action, revolver, semi-auto, single shot, shotgun combination, and then it goes to rocket launcher. What do you know? No assault rifles. So the question here is, what firearms did this lady have, since they were not assault rifles? Were they AR-15s? I'm going to assume they were probably AR-15s, which means they were most likely 5.56, though they easily could have been 2.23s. Or knowing you, they also could have been 308s. Or even a 22 if you stuck a metal rail on it. You don't seem like the sort of person who knows much about firearms.
And she said, my husband just passed away and I don't want these guns in my house anymore. I'd rather have jewelry. So she knew that by bringing her 2 assault rifles here today, she would get 2 gift cards worth $300 each.
Damn, woman, you ripped that widow off. You gave her $600 in Amazon gift card for 2 AR-15s? I would have given her far more than that. Most gun stores appraise your firearms by taking them to truegunvalue.com. There you pop in their specs and you figure out how much they're worth. Now, I can't put in the most accurate specs because you just gave me a bullshit description of assault rifle. But assuming that these are rifles that are 5.56, I will give you at least a vague idea of how much they would have been worth. And they definitely were not $600 for a pair. So here we are, truegunvalue.com. We will select rifle, and here I would put the make and model, but this woman didn't know anything, so we'll just go with 5.56. Now we will go on down here where it says estimated value, and what do you know? The trade-in value would be about $502.77, while a private party sale would be $773.49. So in conclusion, you ripped her off.
And the captain said,
well, looking at these guns and from a law enforcement perspective, these are the guns that create all the havoc in the street. These are very dangerous weapons. And to be able to get these guns off the street is an amazing thing for law enforcement and for our community because it makes it just that much safer.
I'm going to say this with the utmost respect, acknowledging my husband's thin blue line flag in the background. You, sir, are full of shit. There is no limit to how many firearms somebody can buy in the state of Tennessee. However, there are certain buying habits that somebody can have that makes them look suspicious. And when they make these suspicious purchases, FFLs, such as myself, are required to pass the information along to the local PD in the form of a email. And in this email, we have to put down who made the suspicious purchase, what they purchased, and when they purchased it. Assault rifles, as you call them, also known as 5.56s to the same people, are not suspicious purchases. Handguns are. If somebody buys 2 or more handguns in a 5-day period, we are required to inform the local PD of this purchase. We are not required to do so when they purchase multiple 5.56s. You see, most crimes, most murders, most suicides, they are performed not with these scary looking assault rifles, as you call them, but with handguns. It's just more practical. Now, as a law enforcement officer who was trusted to have a camera in their face and represent their agency, you should know this. I'm hard-pressed to believe that you don't know this. Which is why I'm going to say you're full of shit.
every gun that we are taking and destroying will be one less gun that could be used in a crime against law enforcement, one less gun that could be stolen, one less gun that could go off accidentally in the home and kill a child, or one less gun that would be used when someone is depressed and thinks about taking their own life. If the gun wasn't there, I think we could probably get more help.
Absolutely right.
No, actually not absolutely right. To make a statement like that is as ridiculous as when people say everybody is at risk of overdosing. No, not everybody is at risk of overdosing. Some people have never touched a drug in their entire life and never will touch a drug in their entire life. Therefore, they are not at risk of overdosing. However, you people like to pretend like the playing field is always level. The playing field is not always level. These firearms would have done absolutely nothing but sit in a closet. Therefore, you wasted tax dollars by giving this woman $600 for them, while also ripping her off when she could have taken them to a pawn shop and easily made twice the amount. You are not a hero for this situation. You have done nothing to make the world safer. This was not taken off of a thug. This was not taken off of a felon. This was not taken off of a murderer. This was not taken off of a child in a high school. This was taken from a widow who didn't know what she had and who wanted nothing to do with what she had. It is her right to not want a firearm, but many women do not want firearms. But to act like this is something heroic makes absolutely no sense. Also, I am hard-pressed to believe that these firearms are going to be destroyed. These police departments that do these buybacks, they always talk about how they destroy them, and maybe they do, but scrolling through govdeals.com, I find myself hard-pressed to believe most likely they're just being auctioned off to FFL dealers such as myself. Let's see, what type of deals do the police agencies of America have today? Ew, a High Point. Nope, not paying $25 for that. Ooh, 5 firearms for less than $500. And over here, a Taurus. And oh, that looks like what she'd call an assault rifle. Now, am I saying all the agencies are lying when they say that they destroy the firearms that they get from the gun buyback programs? No, not necessarily. But these are all up for auction by police agencies. And they are being sold to people like me, FFL holders. They only sell to FFL holders. And we only sell to people who can pass a background check. There's nothing wrong with that, but these are still firearms that we are getting from police departments that are going back into circulation. Take that as you will.
These events are so great because if those guns don't need to be out on the street,
We've been through this. They weren't on the street. They were in a woman's closet.
we don't want them in the wrong hands. And bringing them over here and then getting a gift card right around the holidays is a perfect time.
Right. Who wouldn't rather have jewelry than a gun?
Absolutely.
I don't know, maybe somebody who's in a self-defense situation, maybe somebody who's being assaulted, maybe somebody whose home is being broken into, maybe somebody who's in an active shooter situation. I can't imagine in any of those situations I would be thinking to myself, well, thank God the police department gave me money and I was able to buy this cheap-ass Amazon jewelry. You really need to sit down, woman. You look stupid. Deputy Dan here thinks she looks stupid too. He's just not willing to admit it because he's worried about losing his job. Just try and convince me this is not the face of a neutered male who is dying inside from listening to your bullshit.